Good morning. Thank you for hanging out. Cotter and Marshall Show here on your Friday. Time for Beer for Breakfast. Brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. You can check out Coach's this weekend. They've got the Fractions playing tonight. Jupiter Coyote playing tomorrow. Great live music back in the Sound Garden over at Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. So Beer for Breakfast this morning. It's an honor to have in studio from New Realm, Mitch Steele. Mitch, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Now, everybody that we talked to and we said, hey, we've got Mitch from New Realm coming in, they're like, oh, it's a big deal. That's a big deal, guys.
You're kind of a big deal. Did you know this?
My wife got me a coffee mug that says that. So.
I was hanging out at Haversham yesterday, and I was talking to Jeff over at Haversham, and he's like, Mitch Steele's coming in? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, wow, that's really awesome. He's the guy. So you literally wrote the book on IPAs.
Yep.
You've been brewing IPAs for years. So, of course, New Realm just opened up here in Savannah, downtown. We'll get to all of that in a bit. But being an IPA guy like you are, I mean, in your opinion, just what makes a good IPA?
Oh, it depends on what kind of IPA we're talking about. But the first and foremost, any IPA has to have a really pronounced hoppy aromatic, right. You know, whether it's citrusy, whether it's piney, whether it's juicy, whatever it is. If you don't have that really heavy hop character in the aroma and taste, it's not an IPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you? I know you're more a traditionalist when it comes to the IPAs. Are you a fan of like the milkshakes and all these different variants we've been getting? You
know, I have ones that I like better than others, but I like brewing them all. And so our best-selling beer is a hazy IPA. I'd never brewed one before we came in we started New Realm,
right?
Because they weren't really a thing in my last job, and so I love a traditional or a West Coast IPA, and I like hazies too if they're done well.
So when it comes to the book, you did write a book, IPA, Brewing Techniques, Recipes, and the Evolution of India Pale Ale. Did you really write this book, or is this like more of like a Donald Trump thing where he wrote The Art of the Deal? And like,
I wrote the book. It was funny. It was when I started this, I was with Stone Brewing Company, and Steve Wagner was my boss. He was the president. He was the original brewmaster of Stone, and we were going to write the book together. And so we divvied up the chapters. We created an outline. We did all the research and everything. And then, Stone was growing like crazy. And at one point, he came to me and said, "I just can't do it. I don't have the time to do it." He goes, "What do you want to do? Do you want to hire a ghostwriter to help you with it?" And I said, "You know what? I've got all the notes. Let me just take a crack at it."
Right.
And at about 6 months of sequestering myself at my computer over the weekends, I got it done.
That's incredible. He sounds like the absolute atypical high school project teammate. Someone who does like the bare minimum, and then at the end he's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, my dog died. Can you just cover the rest of the project?" I'm not trying to talk crap about Steve, but Steve, come on.
Yeah, no, I got it. I mean, we were trying to open a brewery in Europe and one in Virginia and everything else, and he was just getting pulled in a million different directions. And he said, "I'm just not going to be able to do this justice." And he gave me enough warning where I could get it done. So,
well, that's a plus. That is a definite plus.
So I used to live on the West Coast. I used to live in Las Vegas, and I visited Stone and Escondido many times, the downtown location in San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I've been there a bunch of times there as well. Now, obviously, you came from Stone. Arrogant Bastard is one of the, I think, beers that probably got me into craft beer, which is Stone. That's why I love Stone as much as I do. We reviewed 1,000 Stone beers. What is the biggest lesson you learned since you've moved on from Stone? I mean, you left in 2016 from Stone after spending quite a few years there.
Yeah.
Now you're with New Realm. You moved across the country. Obviously, culture shock, but let alone building from the ground up kind of a new brewery. What's the biggest lesson you've learned over that time from Stone to New Realm?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I've learned how to listen to our customers and fans a little bit more, because Stone was always, if you don't like it, we don't care. It's not the beer for you, right? And I operated under that kind of mode for about 10 years, which was kind of cool, It's like, okay, we're going to brew this because we think it's cool,
Yeah.
And with New Realm, we take a little bit of a different approach. We have the restaurants, and we get feedback from people coming into the restaurants. We do test beers. We get the feedback. We decide whether there's something we want to continue brewing or not. And so it's a much more back and forth.
Right.
And I think that works better for what we're doing at New Realm than if I had taken the Stone approach and said, we're going to brew double IPAs and that's it.
Right.
Has there been any sort of response from fans then that have surprised you, maybe took you in a different direction with the beer than you didn't expect?
Well, I think the biggest one was seltzers. You know? Yeah. I mean, because we had people coming into our restaurants that just aren't beer drinkers. And, by Georgia law, all we can serve is stuff we make on premise.
Right.
And, we had people coming in asking for seltzers, and so we learned how to do them, and we made them. We've been making them for about 2 years. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. But what the heck?
Is there like an individual flavor that you're more proud of? Like, do you have a baby seltzer that you're like, this is mine? This is my favorite.
I like our blueberry acai seltzer. I can't even say
it's
it.
Fine. But it's a fancy workout person's term.
It's like right. But that's the one I like the best. And then we have a really good citrus one as well, which is probably my favorite because I can drink that over ice, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Now, of course, you've got the new locations just opening up downtown Savannah, 120 Whitaker Street in Savannah.
Yep.
Distillery and brewery. So you're doing both?
Yes.
What are you distilling at this new place?
So we're going to do mostly clear spirits here. So vodkas, gins. The distillery is a highly automated distillery with a vodka column, a gin basket. So we're gonna focus on that more than grain-based spirits.
Okay.
And we're going to look at doing grain-based spirits in Atlanta.
Okay.
We have a distiller's permit in Atlanta as well.
So do you have those available now, or are those upcoming? Okay.
Yeah, we have some of them available now, and we're gonna be ramping it up here after we get open.
And how lucky were you guys when this is the old Savannah Spirits building? So how lucky were you when you're like, they left all their stuff, and you're like, oh cool, yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was here in town for a family visit, and Kerry Falcone, our CEO, called me up and said, hey, are you in Savannah right now? And I said, yeah. And he goes, he asked me to go look at this building, and so I did, and as soon as I walked through it, I called him. I said, Kerry, you need to get down here. You got to check this out. I mean, the building is beautiful. It's got a fully automated distillery in the back. It's crazy cool. And so he came down the next day, and next thing I know, we're working towards opening this place up.
That's awesome.
Now, something that Marshall asked you off air, will there be Savannah-specific beers eventually here in town?
Yeah, there will. I think each one of our restaurants and breweries will do a few beers that are specific to them, and may only be available in the local restaurant. So, yeah, I think that's important because brewers want to be creative. They want to do their own thing.
Yeah, and then one quick question before we hit the break, and I know with these exclusive beers, we just started as a morning show back March 1st, so we're not even 2 months old yet.
Congrats.
So thank you. Out of respect for us, can one of those beers be named after us?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why
he said
not?
yes. That's proof. He said yes, everyone. Everyone in the chat, please verify that. That is confirmed. We get a beer named after us at New Realm.
That was one of the most, yes, I'm just going to say this now and forget it later.
We have it on video.
I'm looking at your screen and seeing beer for breakfast and going, that's something we might be able to use.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
All right, more with Mitch Steele from New Realm. It is Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1. Bring me the horizon. This is Teardrops. Good morning. Thank you for hanging out. It is Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. You can check out some great live music this weekend. The Fractions playing tonight. Jupiter Coyote playing tomorrow. And in studio right now, joining us, Beer for Breakfast from New Realm, we've got Mitch Steele. Of course, New Realm's got a brand new location to open up in Savannah. 120 Whitaker Street is downtown. It's 3 levels. You got beer, you got food, you've got the spirits as well. So super excited to get down there and check it out. But this is the portion of Beer for Breakfast where we actually have some beers for breakfast.
Awesome.
So what did you bring today?
So
very interested.
I brought a mix pack.
Okay.
This is our IPA mix pack.
Ooh.
And we do one new mix pack every 3 months or so. So this is the one for the spring, and it's all IPAs, which is right up my alley. We've got 2 of our regular core beers in here, and then a couple of special beers.
Yeah.
And I thought we'd start off tasting Hazy Like a Fox because that's our best-selling beer.
Perfect. Well, I'll take one of those cans and I'll start pouring out. While we're doing that, I do have a question in regards to Hazy Like a Fox because I was watching a recent interview that you did. So You were talking about Hazy Like a Fox, and you said, I enthusiastically, with this beer, ran samples up to my coworkers. And the first comment I got from my sales manager was, it wasn't hazy enough. And then you responded, would you please taste the beer to your sales manager? We nailed it. I love the confidence you portray in this interview that you gave. Now that we obviously have your feelings when it comes to this beer, you feel like you nailed this beer. Once again, we are going to be tasting Hazy Like a Fox. I'm showing it on the live stream right now from New Realm. Would you like to call that person out? How about let's just get...
Well, he doesn't work for us anymore.
Okay,
but,
well, there's a reason why, huh?
No, he's with another brewery. He's doing good. He's a good guy. It was just one of those things where I was kind of poking him a little bit because, honestly, the haze, if you're going to brew a hazy IPA, the haze is important. Yeah. And that first little batch of beer, we totally nailed the flavor. We didn't nail the haze. And it's funny, as a lot of larger craft brewers have started to brew hazy IPAs, one of the common things that we all talk about is how do you get a stable haze? Mm-hmm. If you're working with a small brewery, some of these breweries that have been doing it since day one have really got it figured out. And all of us breweries that had learned how to make beer clear for all of our careers had to relearn everything, know.
So like taking the filter off.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you do it. Oh, it seems super easy. All right. Well, we grade beers very easily. We're the common man. We're the blue collar workers of beer reviewers. So it's pretty easy. We start off with a big old sniff.
Yep. Dude, the grapefruit right up front. I get a lot of that initially.
Great citrusy smell.
Yes,
absolutely. Good. Mitch, you could probably nerd out on us, but why don't you break it down, the smell profile of it for us? I'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah, so for me, I get a bit of orange juice, I get a lot of grapefruit, and I get some pineapple.
Okay.
And that's all coming from the hops. So
okay, beautiful.
Outstanding stuff. Holding it up to the light, it is slightly hazy. You know what? I think it could be a little bit more, but I would never say that. I would let your former sales manager say that, because we know how that turns out if you tell Mitch Steele how hazy things should be. But it is, I would say, slightly hazy. I'll hold it up to the camera
looks
here.
Really good.
You guys can hit it. And then, of course,
we drink.
The third most important thing. Drink.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Woo-wee. Oh, man. That is delightful.
Yeah, I've been on a massive IPA kick recently. I'm just always looking for something. And I think I had this, maybe when you first came into Savannah with the beer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is really good. I mean, you get the citrus, but it's also kind of light. It's not an overpowering. It's not kicking you in the mouth. I'm not growing hair on my tongue after drinking it.
Right.
It's just a nice, delicious beer.
And it comes in at 6.5% alcohol. So it's not one of these things that you can just run around all day with, but you could definitely have a good time.
I've seen people do that. Yeah. For me, what makes this beer work, besides the hop flavors, is just the fact that it's very balanced. There's not a real heavy, like West Coast IPA bitterness to it. It's just balanced.
Well, let's go ahead and grade it out then. So, Cotter, on the beer scale of supremacy, which we put on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you give New Realm Brewing Company's Hazy Like a Fox IPA, coming at a 6.5% alcohol?
Like I said, been on a big IPA kick lately. This one hits the spot very much so. I'm going to give 4.25. I mean, this is just a really solid beer. The nose of it, the taste of it, it is like balanced. It's a perfect description of it. It is a well-balanced IPA.
I love the nose of it. I also just love the balance of the pineapple, the orange juice, the grapefruits. I don't know if that's just more of the citrus stuff, which all from the hops. I mean, for me, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 3.9. I really, really do enjoy Hazy Like a Fox. Mitch, I know it's your baby, but we're going to also ask you to grade it out on the beer scale of supremacy. What would you give your own beer?
Should I give it a 5?
If you want, go for it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
All right. Very, very courteous. We do have a question on the chat real quick I want you to answer. Rhett asks, what is the most outlandish beer or ingredient you have ever used to brew beer or heard of being used in a beer?
Cannabis.
Okay.
There's been several in Colorado that's been doing that, right?
Yeah,
they use cannabis in a beer.
There's some people in California working on it too.
Okay.
It's not like dudes like smoking joints and like popping them into the vessel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I remember homebrewers doing that. So
maybe this will make it taste good.
All right, so let's take another quick break. We'll come back. He brought a variety pack. I think it would be a crime not to try a variety of beers. So we're going to do that.
It'd be rude of us.
It would be very rude. So more with Mitch Steele coming up. This is the Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1. Thanks for hanging out on air and on the stream. As always, you can get the stream Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
I'm Vanna White over here, just showing off this beer right now.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right, Beer for Breakfast brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Live music this weekend from the Fractions tonight. Jupiter Coyote tomorrow. Going down at Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. We are joined by Mitch Steele of New Realm. Of course, New Realm's got a brand new location here in Savannah, 120 Whitaker Street. You guys are officially open at 11 o'clock each day for lunch. Marshall and I are heading that way today for lunch after the show. What do you recommend on the menu? First trip in, what do you think we should get?
I think one of our signature dishes is our mac and cheese.
Oh.
It's really good. It's got a lot of cheeses in it. And then the kicker is that we put a Belgian candy syrup glaze over the top and then crisp it all up. So it's got a little bit of caramely sweetness, and it's pretty amazing.
Okay, I'll be ordering 7 of those.
Oh, my Lord. That sounds delicious.
That's more than delicious. That sounds like it's addictive.
Oh, man. Okay, we know what we're getting now when we go to New Realm today. All right, so we've got another beer. What did we bring in here? Marshall, what is it? What do we got?
We have, I guess I'll describe it.
Yeah.
It's New Realm Brewing Company's Wooded Reserve Barrel Aged Series Russian Imperial Stout entitled Doomsday Hound.
Yeah. That sounds fantastic. Is there a story behind this beer? Or
Well, we've been brewing Doomsday Hound since the first year we opened.
Okay.
And as soon as we brewed the first batch, we said, okay, we got to put some of this in barrels. And so we've been barrel aging it in different barrels over the years. And this batch was aged in Templeton rye barrels.
Okay.
Which really worked well for it.
Okay.
I thought it was just a fantastic combination. And it's cool to age beer in barrels, spirit barrels, because you get the flavors of the spirits seeping into the beer and the oak and everything.
And the most important part is it comes in at 13.9% alcohol. 13, almost 14%.
He's not playing around with this beer.
This is a beer that you need to be at home drinking. This is not a out and about beer. This is a.
So let's drink it here in the studio.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start the review. Then let's take a big sniff.
All right, so with the nose, you get I get a lot of the barrel, and not in a bad way where it's just a liquor smell. I mean, it's the smell of the barrel to me. That rye barrel really comes through.
It's sweet and almost like a licorice, right?
Yeah, licorice is a good one. Yeah.
Oh, that smells really, really good, man.
All right, let's hold it up to the light here. Black as midnight. I mean, what you want with a thing called Doomsday Hound? I mean, you can't see through it. It's like motor oil over here.
All right, let's drink. Cheers, man. Mitch, thank you so much.
Cheers,
man.
Mitch. Cheers.
So good.
Ooh, baby.
That
Good
is
Lord.
way smoother than it should be for a 13, almost 14% beer. It's like my thing with barrel aged. It's like sometimes you just get too much of the barrel. So it's like finding that perfect balance, kind of like what you're using with the IPA. There is really good balance with this beer because the stout end of it comes through and you get the barrel end of it, but neither is overpowering.
And a lot of times when you have a stout like this, aged in barrels, like a lot of times all the carbonation is absolutely killed from it. Like, right? I feel like there's a little carbonation still in this, right?
There is a little
like
bit,
there's a little pop, little fizzy on my tongue there at the end. I actually really do enjoy that because a lot of times when you drink, barrel aged beers, they pour out like just smooth. There's nothing. Like I said, it pour out like motor oil, but this has like a little fizz to it, which you don't see because it's just so black as night in there. But the taste is excellent. I mean, a little bit of chocolate in there. I mean, this thing pours out really, really smooth. This turned out really well. Now, Templeton rye barrels that's just rye whiskey, right?
Yes.
Sorry, dumb question.
Rye whiskey. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha, man. What do you have to say about this beer? I mean, when someone picks this up, if I pick this up, big dumb guy, when it comes to beer, I mean, like, how would you sell me on it?
Well, we do 4 to 5 barrel aged releases every year. This is the best one of this year.
Okay, well, it's sold immediately. Mitch Steele says that best one. I sold. I'll take that, please. Thank you.
So on the beer scale of supremacy, Marshall, 1 out of 5, what are you giving this?
Cotter, I really like this.
It's really good.
And maybe it's just the high amount of alcohol hitting me all at once at 13.9%. I'm gonna give this one a 4.1. I mean, I really do enjoy this beer. I mean, coming out the way it did, still having a bit of carbonation, that smell of licorice, the taste of chocolate. I mean, it hit on a lot of levels for me.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go higher than the IPA. I'm going to go 4.35 because, like I said, I mean, it's tough to find, at least for me, one of those really good barrel-aged beers because typically there's too much barrel for me. The balance on this is perfect. The flavor is there. The barrel is nice. Dude, just great work on this beer.
You should have you should have it on the side of the bottle. Perfect amount of barrel.
That's a selling point.
Yeah, hopefully our social media folks are listening so they can use that phrase.
All right, so what about you, Mitch? What do you think?
Oh, I love this beer. Yeah. This is one of my favorites, and because it's so strong, I drink them rarely. Yeah. But this is one I really enjoy.
But only in the morning.
Only in the morning. Yeah. This is one of those breakfast beers, and I'm gonna go 4-3. On this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is a really good beer. Well, Mitch, thank you so much for stopping by. It was
Thank you.
It was an honor to have you in studio. We were super excited when we heard New Realm was coming to town. Excited to check it out tonight. Or today for lunch. Anything else that we need to know about what you guys got coming up, brewery-wise, Savannah-wise, anything you're working on?
Yeah. Savannah is just gearing up and getting open. We're excited as can be to be here. All of us at New Realm love this town. And we're opening a brewery in the Charleston area next month.
Do you sleep?
No.
Okay. No.
Mitch is going worldwide. Yeah. Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina.
Yeah. It's the restaurants do really well for us, and if we find a site that's going to work for us, then we explore it, and see if we can make something out of it.
And was that the plan from the get-go? We're going to expand, or was it just kind of like, hey, we can do this?
We wanted to be in most of the Southeast states, and we have a rule at New Realm that if we're not brewing in the state, we're not going to sell our beer there.
Oh, wow.
And so the plan was always to open, in North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe Tennessee, maybe Florida. And so, we're always looking at opportunities, and we found a couple of really good ones this year. So.
Nice. Excellent. All right, Mitch, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
You guys get a chance, head on down to New Realm. Of course, you can find a lot of their beer just at Habersham or your local liquor store, so be sure to check it out. Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. More with Cotter and Marshall coming up next. Rock 106.1. Hey guys, it's Cotter and Marshall from Rock 106.1. Thank you so much for watching our stupidity online.
Daily. We appreciate it. So make sure that you like and comment and subscribe. It's down there somewhere. We're not exactly for sure. We do appreciate it. And of course, more content always coming soon.